IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Okay, time for the show called Cyrus Says. I want to rename it to Jyotika, my first girlfriend, but unfortunately we don't have a sponsor, so can't take that call. But before we start, introduce my famous guest, I have to quickly talk about another scientific breakthrough that I've had, and I want to share this with the podcasting audience, or the podcast audience. Since you cross 40, life changes, and many people think they have to worry about pain in the knee or pain in the shoulder. See, the way I see it, if you're fairly successful, you don't have to worry about your knees, because if you drop something, somebody will pick it up for you. Shoulder, I mean, unless you're hailing a cab the old-fashioned way, I can't see the use of that over 40. But the back is very important. And hence, my gift to everyone is the back pillow. All over 40s and definitely over 50, please keep a back pillow with you wherever you go. It is now my constant companion. I've elevated it to spousal status. Both pillow and wife are behind, so I have to be careful. I don't want to offend either, because I need both going forward.
Whether you're an established sports person or a budding one, or simply a sports enthusiast, join us, Tanvi and Shlok.
We are two passionate pro badminton players talking policy, mindset and everything sport.
So tune in to the Millennial Athlete every Monday.
Only on the IVM Podcast Network.
Trust us, it's gonna be lit.
Alright, so the show is called Cyrus Says. Enough rubbish from me. It's time to meet Arjun Mathur, who's fresh off the blocks here with a nomination for International Emmy, which is huge. He's probably now the most, now you're the most creditworthy person on the podcast ever. I have to tell you. We have no guy winning any international prizes who's been here. We've had people running away from international law. But Arjun, amazing. First, let me congratulate you. It's great. I think that slowly Indian artists are going to get appreciated by the fraternity internationally, not just make money. So let's start with that at the top, and then we'll go through your life as fast as we can. It sounds mean, but that's the medium, not me. Sorry, Arjun, I talk a lot. So anytime you want, just go for it. By the way, before we start into all the wonderful performances, we have two things in common. Okay, one, my cousin Ashish Gidwani, who's 51 years old, was from St. Columbus, but he's about 12 years older than you, from what I've gathered.
Was he somewhere near Shah Rukh Khan's batch? I suppose he was.
Somewhere little below that, yeah. They all talk about, I beat Shah Rukh at chess and all that bullshit, honestly. Even if you did, he's Shah Rukh Khan, who's done so much with his life, and you're running a small business. But, but he's a great guy. He taught me how to shoot with an air gun. I learned about Delhi behavior thanks to him. We would go to Panchil Park. We had a little park which was outside where they lived in the old days. Summers I used to go there and with the air gun, and I don't want to tell you what we did, but let's just say the central government will appreciate us right now. Okay, that being said, second thing, Lee Strasberg. I went there way back in 94.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for 4 months.
Same here. We did the same course then.
But we'll discuss that later in the podcast as well. Because more than the acting, he was living in New York alone. I'm a proper ladla from Malabar Hill, Mumbai, who's never left mom and dad. So, that was a huge thing. But now let's start with you. Arjun Mathur, actor for the series, for the show Made in Heaven. A quick bit about the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one sec, my wife just screamed out, I've worked with you in Outsourced.
What's
Did
her
you know a
name?
movie called Outsourced?
Of course. What's her name?
Her name is Aisha. Aisha, do you keep my surname? I don't remember. She was a photographer. Taking photographs.
I mean, shit, man. That was like, I remember that
Just
was 2006.
pretend you remember her, for God's sake. She's behind me.
Yeah, hi, Aisha.
He's saying hi. Yeah, 2006. All right.
Awesome. Yeah.
So she's quite happy, by the way. One fan already.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. What a small
Awesome.
world.
Yeah, truly
congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
I mean, you must be sick of answering this. Now it's like a wedding, no? Oh, shadi, fantastic. And everybody will be saying the same thing.
Bachcha kab kar rahe ho?
Exactly that. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with Made in Heaven, then we'll go back to your life. Born in London, very interesting. The story, I haven't seen it, but the girl sort of marries up. Is that right, Tara?
Tara does. Yes, her character marries up. That's right. And I am
shouting out the plot behind.
Oh, right. Okay, great.
Your fan has seen it. Okay.
That's what it is. That's what she does. And I play a gay man living in India before it was legalized.
And it's an arrangement, obviously.
What is?
You are married to her?
No. We play best friends. I'm really entertained that you know nothing about the show. That's awesome.
It's not a lack of
Let's go.
respect, bro. It's not a lack of respect. It's just the fact that we have only a couple of outlets here in the house to watch different things, and I'm last in line. So please understand.
Yeah, cool.
But my wife, should she conduct the podcast? She knows everything. She's screaming abuse at me for asking if you're married. See, this could have gone the other way. For not doing the research properly, you could have walked out. Thank God you didn't do that. But what will happen is, as you get bigger and more famous, the next time they say Cyrus Bocha podcast, you'll be like, baat mein. Put it back in the line. Yeah. Okay,
I don't think I've laughed so much before we even started in any other interview. So, like, this is awesome.
because I'll tell you, you can't beat an amateur. At the end of the day, you'll get all these professional journalists who ask you the same 4 questions. Rajiv Masan discussing this at a forum. That sometimes talking to actors, when they put you 5th in the line, I'm sure you get this a lot also, because even international journalists will be the same to some extent. The same 6 questions. So the 9th guy consecutively, bar, repeat.
It's true.
What the hell? How will you answer what the plot is for the 10th time after 3
man.
hours?
I think it finally happened to me yesterday. You know, after like it's been 6-7 days apparently. It feels like 2 or 3 to me. But yesterday, finally, my first interview of the day and the first question, and I cracked a little bit, and I was just like, yaar, kya hota hai? Yahi to hota hai. Or, you know, it like came out in a slight irritable, not good, not nice, but yeah, it happened.
No, I think it's fair enough. When we were MTV, we used to discuss this as well. Why irritate the guy, you know? You got to figure out a way where people are comfortable. Having said that, I failed to do that myself. But I do understand that there are 3-4 generic questions, which in any case, why would you want to answer? It's out there. The paperwork is out there. It's on the digital sort of, forum. You can read, as I am right now.
And for this, like the most generic of them all happens to be, अच्छा आपको एक homosexual play करते हुए कैसा लगा? And I'm like, यार, कैसा लगा मतलब human है ना?
That is wrong in so many ways.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, man, not that different.
Really? Yeah, but that's, again, it's similar to Black Lives Matter. It's very important for some reason to put that issue out. Why can't, incidentally, the guy is black in the show, incidentally, the guy is homosexual. That never happens. Okay, that he's gay or whatever. But even here in the brief I'm reading, it's clearly written homosexual man. So even your publicists or the people pushing the thing, they have to spin it that way, because deep down everybody wants that controversy which comes with that, and then people sort of react, I presume.
I think no, but with this, not only that, yes, I think in several cases that must be the case, but here it's a fact that this character and his conflict and everything has resonated so hard with so many people that does actually happen to be the main thing, to talk about, because it's really like affected people in a way enough for them to like come out to their families or their workplace, or people to be accepting a queer member in their family better. These are the stories that I have been receiving a lot, and they're amazing. Yeah.
No, I'm sure, because end of the day, without role models, what will we do? My role model is Milind Soman, hence I wear no clothes, just walk around.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Why didn't anyone tell me this was the scene?
Arjun, I've been doing this from March. Okay, first day I shaved nicely, मैं research करके आया था, बैठा था, everything was perfect. Now as the months go by, it's a government job. So it's nothing to do with you. In fact, you're a breath of fresh air. But I just can't be clothed and let's take advantage of the situation. Huh? If it was a normal thing, I'd be taking a ride all the way to the suburbs to meet you, wait for 2 hours, then get they bite perhaps last and you're not interested, blah, blah. So sure, this is, fundamentally fun for both of us.
I'm totally with you. That's why I'm not going to tilt the camera down. So, yeah.
You're not wearing pants, I'm not wearing a shirt. We work together. Gay or not, all men are choots. Okay. So now just a quick word on everyone who follows you will know everything about this super hit show, but I'll just quickly get into the fact that it's a wedding matrimonial bureau thing, right?
They're wedding planning agency, 2 of them, and they keep so that's what. And through the series, you see them plan 7 to 8 weddings, and each wedding comes with its own set of people and conflicts and some kind of issue which is being raised and addressed in each wedding, whether it's dowry or whether it's whatever, things like that. And and through these weddings and through these episodes, they of course have their own growth as professionals and personally in their lives. Yeah.
So here's the thing. How upset or happy are you with that Seema Taparia thing that's going on in the background on Indian Matrimony, which me and the wife watched every minute of?
Yeah, me too. I want a damn crossover. I want it. Seriously, I want her on our set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something else. It's almost like you're the reality and they are the caricatures and they are the
Yeah.
reality in actuality. Look at that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually.
yeah. But I'll will come back to that in a little bit. I want to talk about all the other things you've done quickly. One question which you have to
Hmm.
answer, as generic as it will be, is
Uh-huh.
do you feel different with an Emmy nomination? Because now, let's be honest, if you win this, you go to another
Hmm.
level. Okay, you're now in that super league of actors who've won an Emmy, which is
Whoa.
just one below an Oscar. Let's be, I mean, that's
Whoa,
it,
whoa, 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 whoa. One sec. When you say it like that, it's really not a thought that's crossed my mind. The nomination is huge, man. And I mean, the nomination itself feels like, I mean, it's huge validation. I've been doing this for 13 years over here. And I'll make no bones about like that. Yeah, I mean, commercial Bollywood, the conventional notions of success have evaded me. But I've stayed my path and, yeah, there's no greater
Arjun, not
validation.
to sound
Yeah,
racist, but the fact
yeah.
of the matter is that if you do a Filmfare award thing or whatever, it's more or
Yeah,
less like a, it's like an exchange, a strategy. It's not
yeah,
really, I
absolutely,
mean, let's be honest
absolutely.
about that here.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is
totally.
the real deal. And for
It
them
is.
to reach out to a, what is an Indian ethos sort of show and then find
Yeah,
that actor from there,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's really big for the country. Now, this is something we can talk about as Indians with our chest out, not
yeah.
clapping at 9 o'clock for 30 seconds and hope that
No,
COVID will go away.
it's
Yeah.
awesome. I did not think a responsibility like this would ever fall on my shoulders. I mean, a couple of months ago I was being called anti-national, but so that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anti-national. Don't worry. The moment you win that, you'll be at every function, and
Wait
suddenly,
till you,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure, hundred
Wait till you
percent.
hear my acceptance speech.
Oops, will you do it from London? All right. Speaking of London, let's go back now and trace the journey. So you were born in London, is it?
I was just born there. My parents, like typical smart Indian family. My grandfather used to, like, he was into garment exports. He had an office in London. So, my mother basically went there for her pregnancy and delivery, not only with me, but with my elder brother as well. Okay. So they were like, हाँ ये बच्चों को passport दिला देते हैं kind of situation. So that's what happened. And then, of course, my sister was born in Golf Links, New Delhi, poor thing. But, yeah, but,
Well,
yeah,
that's
that's what.
terrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was literally
Oh,
only
that's
born there.
fabulous.
I
Yeah.
mean, I lived in the first few years of my life was spent in Srinagar, where my dad was working at the Oberoi Palace Hotel at the time, and I started my school in New Delhi, St. Columbus. So I'm India born. I mean, raised very
But
much
you're
grown up
like one
India.
of those, I won't say lucky because somebody will listen to the podcast and then I'll have to go to London myself.
Yeah,
Those guys who has that passport, but you're basically Indian, but your passport
yeah,
says,
yeah, yeah. Very
uh,
much. Yeah,
so when
basically,
the shit hits
it's
the fan, you can take the flight to Heathrow. What do you
yeah.
do with your sister? Hey, watch my movies. Oops, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Srinagar, insurgency was from 88, 89, if I remember correctly. So you would have been like 7, 8 years old. Were you there
Yeah,
then? Or?
that no, by then I was back in Delhi. Yeah.
Okay, so you missed that.
Um, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We were in Srinagar in the early 80s when all the Bollywood
movies.
films, yeah, they
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
shooting there.
Yeah.
So as a baby, I've had, these experience and all of them, all the film crews used to come and
Come
stay
to
at
Oberoi. Yeah, correct.
Oberoi Palace. So yeah,
So
I
what
mean,
are we looking at? We're
apparently,
looking at 80s, so Amitabh Bachchan era, basically, still.
yeah, Satya Pe
Vinod
Satta and all,
Khanna. Oh,
correct.
yeah,
So my
that's a
dad
huge
played
star cast.
host to the entire crew of Satya Pe Satta, who that house was on the Oberoi Palace grounds, apparently. Yeah, that shed.
Jab dukhi mein dukhi ho.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that whole,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. So you grew up a little
Yeah,
bit of Bollywood in your early years, that means. So,
completely, absolutely. I mean, like, and once I had any consciousness, that's all I grew up on. I lived in Old Delhi, civil lines. Delhi is as starstruck a place as it gets.
correct. Yeah.
And that's how I grew up, yeah. Like consuming like
So
fanning
young,
hard on Anil Kapoor and like all the three Khans as they came around. Yeah.
that Cred ad that they released just now with Anil Kapoor, it's something about that guy. Yeah, he's outlived a lot of people. He
He's
and the
epic,
great
yeah.
Bachchan.
He's
Yeah,
epic. He's just like you
he's
don't see
superb
him
in that.
getting older.
No,
Firstly,
yeah,
it's really he's the one man
you're
who can
right.
really he
He
can
looks the
really give
same.
the same. He can give all the youngsters a run for their money. Still, absolutely,
And
only
then he's
person.
he's very chilled out. I think that's a, maybe he doesn't take it as seriously as some of the others. He's just a sort of relaxed guy. If you work with him ever, also he's
Yeah,
fun.
I've never had the pleasure. I'm dying to. I am dying to.
So we had this. We first time we worked with him was I can't remember the movie we were. So we had to interview him,
Uh,
and he had this fan. because he
Yeah.
sweats a lot and I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
So he had a small fan, and he had this
Yeah.
assistant holding the fan next to his cheeks. So then this lady Preeta, who was our director, would say action. Then he instructed her, you say action.
Yeah.
2 minutes ke baad, I'll say action. I was going to tell Anil Kapoor what to do. And I had to keep a straight face, exactly what you're going through while this conversation is going on. So Preeta goes action. He calls, let's say, Bunty, aja. Action. Even that,
Superb, yeah.
it was
Superb.
fabulous. But he was great fun, very self-deprecating and, fun,
Yeah.
made jokes and everything. I mean,
Yeah, I think you have to be, yaar. How
Yeah.
seriously can you take this shit,
But at the same time, he is Anil Kapoor for my generation.
Of course,
growing up,
absolutely.
this big star, and some of
Yeah.
the biggest films ever in the history of
But
the world.
yeah, absolutely. But I think that is what's kept him so relevant. Yeah, the fact that he's like, that he is this self-deprecating and stuff. I think,
It's in the cred ad. I know that was their brief and what they were
yeah,
trying to do, where he basically
yeah,
overacts and does this whole thing,
yeah,
one to
yeah,
ka four style, and then he goes back and says, I don't need these guys. That was
yeah.
superb. Yeah. That was so funny. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah, awesome.
Anyway, so that was you growing up in Delhi, and but you knew you
Yeah.
wanted to be an actor, or you had a craving for it.
When I turned about 9 or 10 years old, we moved to Bombay for my dad then started working at the Ambassador Hotel on Marine Drive. So
Oh, the best steak. We can't mention it because
it
it's
was
our
awesome,
secret.
yeah. And that
Yeah.
revolving restaurant on top and all is really epic
What's
stuff.
the game? Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's then actually. I think once we moved to Bombay, I was really young, and visited one or two sets. My dad had a few friends in the industry through his hotel years, and I think that's when it really bit me. I was like, man, okay, this is what I want to do. Because suddenly, also you're in Bombay, it's like surrounded by everything Bollywood, hoardings, ye wo, all the around the action. So I think that just got me, and
Well,
then it stayed a silent fantasy until I turned about 18, of course. Yeah. But I think that's when it
so what
really
were you
happened.
studying? What were you going to be otherwise? What was the back plan?
So I've always had like an amazing hand at drawing and painting and stuff. So my parents always thought that I would do something related to that. They were trying to push me towards like architecture and stuff. But yeah, not happening.
Do you like cricket?
You know what? I don't follow cricket.
Because
I don't watch cricket. I don't play cricket.
But you
Yeah.
have an uncanny resemblance to Raman Lamba, who unfortunately passed away, opening batsman for India. Very, very
Really?
hard-hitting. Yeah.
Wow.
I just
Why
realized.
why
Yeah.
didn't they cast me in 83? Did he play at the time?
No. He's
Oh,
still after
okay,
that.
okay.
But
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But why
That's
didn't
how
cast
much
him in
I don't
83? Arnav Goswami has the answer. You got to talk to him. He'll tell you. Yeah. All right. So coming back. So you're in
Yeah,
Ambassador Hotel. You're going to
yeah.
college and stuff.
I
Is
did
it
not go
school?
to college. After those actually 5 years in Bombay, Ambassador Hotel years, we suffered like a personal tragedy. I lost my mom in a car accident driving from Bombay to Nasik and stuff. And yeah, my whole family was in the car. It was pretty terrible. Um, But at the time, then we needed to kind of pick up and move back closer to extended family, because my dad was busy. He had 3 kids ranging from 10 years to 17 years. It
And
was
only 2 were
quite,
British.
yeah, yeah. So we were like, chalo. So then we moved back to Delhi and I went to the British school in Chanakyapuri where we were studying the A-level system. And over there, they had theatre studies as a subject, right from like 8th standard on. So I was thrilled to see that, man, that like, wow, okay, theater, I'm going to do theater. And I was terrible when I started, man. I was like so shy, so wooden. I was like, why am I here? Yeah. But so that school gave me the opportunity to really,
No, but one second. So you're saying that when you started, suddenly you felt a little out of place.
yeah, definitely. Like I remember those first few drama lessons and I was like, went up and I shat like public speaking and performance. And I don't know, honestly speaking, it took me easily two
But
to
how come you
three
didn't?
years.
But how come you didn't back off then? Because generally, what happens is kids who
Hmm.
don't shine in the on the stage, arch lights and all
Yeah.
that, they sort of
Yeah.
back off very quickly, and only the 3, 4 who sort of get the
Yeah.
applause and all stay in with the race for the rest of the time.
Yeah. You're
So how
right.
come you?
But
How did you manage to stay?
I don't
You
know. I think,
mustn't have been that bad. There must have been something that worked to keep you interested, or there was a
yeah,
girl,
definitely. No. Yeah, possibly.
yeah,
Could have been that. It was also my first time like stepping into a co-ed school,
yeah,
and I had no idea how to behave around girls, nothing. In fact,
right
when I went
down
to that
Delhi
school, I
boy,
must, yeah,
co-ed school,
yeah.
dangerous combo. Huh.
And I've like landed up there and suddenly it was this really international school, no uniforms, this, that. And like, you didn't have to put up your hand and ask permission to go to the toilet. And so my first few days there was bizarre. Like I was just like, would stand up to respond to everything, and people would laugh. He's like, hey, you don't need to do that here, man. Okay, cool. I was like,
What did they
wow.
tell you? The British left in 47, bro. You don't have to do that.
So yeah, but that school basically gave me the chance to, I think, really.
So would
It
you
took
say
me
you changed? You flowered or blossomed with this openness, expressiveness, and all that they allowed?
slowly. I would say slowly. It took some time. I took some time.
That's fair enough. It was
Yeah,
like a culture shock. You come from our style of,
yeah,
guys with a
yeah.
stick who are gonna hit you on your hand for nothing,
Correct,
and then suddenly they
correct.
don't even rebuke you or say anything bad.
Yeah, where suddenly like people, it was all new to me, man. Like people making out by the age of 14 and 15. I was like,
That's
what's
the
happening
education
here?
I missed, man. Really.
So, but it was cool, man. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
So when does Arjun Mathur become the, sort of, when is the sense that this is what I can do or this is what I want to do? There's got to be.
I remember one particular performance in these years in the school where I was cast as Dushasan in a Mahabharat,
So they were
this
doing
thing.
Mahabharata in English in the British school?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was part of like a larger mise en scène kind of
Hmm.
theater day kind of thing.
See, all these words you only picked up in British school. Back
Yeah,
in
yeah,
St.
yeah, yeah.
Columbus, you'd have
Totally,
picked up
totally.
MC, BC,
Yeah,
जानते हो मेरा बाप कौन है? Those are
yeah,
the kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
phrases in theater. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I remember that particular performance one day, first time after like 2, 3 years of trying my hand at this theater stuff, that I felt like, oh my God, I think I felt something there, you know? And it was cool. And then it got better and better. And then
So was there applause? Was something like that? Did you
there
get
was,
like
there was, other than, of course,
validation?
but before applause, there was a feeling of like actually feeling something and being in that moment and not, and not, whoa, I didn't think too much about like what happened there, It was the first time I think I realized, okay, that was actually feeling a performance a little bit. You know what I mean?
See, I think this is a huge story. This is the fun of
Yeah,
a podcast. I'll tell you why. Because otherwise, people have this stereotype in their head कि, वो तो है ना, वो तो ऐसा ही है ना, he's like his
yeah,
father or whatever. The extroverted guy is always the guy who can perform or
yeah,
anchor. Someone like me who's extroverted completely.
sure.
Yeah, but that's not it. It's many
Yeah,
different ways to skin a cat, and people come from so many different styles and
yeah,
stories and backgrounds, and then suddenly,
yeah,
I mean, you might win an
yeah,
Emmy. Okay, look from where to where. If you look back to the time when you must have felt, God, why am I here? And then
yeah,
suddenly you may be on stage, and if
yeah,
not today, maybe win an Emmy tomorrow also. So I'm just
yeah.
saying, just look at the amazing,
No, it
leap
is
that
huge.
happens.
It's
It's
huge. And my teachers from that school and my drama teacher even have all congratulated me. And a lot of like my principals so must be turning in their graves right now because,
bro. They'll
yeah,
be. I mean, firstly, the nomination enough is for them to now, beat their chest. They're not going to say, "I discover." With Sachin Tendulkar, the cricketer, the same thing happened. Everybody
yeah,
went for the coach. Not to
hmm,
disrespect him, but the coach was only in his formative years. It played a part,
right,
no doubt. But
right.
there's lots more after that. So same in
Yeah,
your
of
journey.
course. Yeah.
The early
No,
guys
and,
will.
and and the most fun thing is I was thrown out of that school eventually. And today I'm notable alumni, so it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay, bro. Now, forgive and
yeah.
forget. Why did
Yeah,
they throw
yeah,
you out?
totally.
Was it a drugs
Well,
charge?
no, I
Uh,
was
uh,
dating the principal's daughter firstly.
oh, that's
So
not so bad.
I think it was pretty bad to her, but I was also always one of those guys, yeah, who has this amazing amount of potential, but just does not want to put, I don't want to work, man. Studies were not for me. I wanted to have all my fun in school and get the hell out of there and never look back at studying. You know what I mean?
But for such a passive environment and all that, why would they throw someone out?
It was like, I had just been like scraping through for a few years,
Oh,
and
academics. Okay.
they were looking for an excuse. So bunch of things came together, kind of like,
I'm going to go with the
I guess.
principal's daughter thing. It looks personal to me. I still think they would have propelled you forward with just one subject here or there.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you in touch with the daughter?
No, 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 not too much. No. Hello.
It's a man.
If we happen to meet at some alumni event, then hello, hi. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. What
Yeah,
could have been? If you win an
really.
Oscar, she'll shoot her father.
Mother.
Mother, sorry. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
All right. So that's the story there. But then
Yeah.
the transition to becoming a professional actor, I think you go to Strasbourg. Barry John first. Barry John,
First, before even that, okay, let me tell you, I got thrown out of British school and I went and did my last year of schooling in the UK. And I was finishing up there when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm finishing this. Don't, I know I don't want to like go to college and like pursue some random ass degree and all. So quietly on the side, I started applying. I applied to RADA, Lambda, all that stuff in the UK. Did those audition tests and all, got the hell rejected. And then I was like, okay, shit, now what do I do? By then, Mr. Hrithik Roshan had made his like smashing debut
Hmm.
and given a little bit of publicity to this one Mr. Kishore Namit Kapoor.
The acting
So,
coach. Huh.
yeah. So that's the first thing I thought of. And I was like, I remember I was in the UK about 18 years old, and this is when I was finally going to tell my dad that, okay, dad, मुझे ये करना है, and I want to go to Bombay and just start training and doing whatever I can. So yeah, I said I let him
But
know over
that's
an email. Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's a financial strain, isn't it? Because these, at least in those days, 80s, 90s, they charged a lot of money for these academies or whatever you call them.
yeah. Those would have been certainly, but I guess we get to that after I got in, which I didn't. Yeah.
Oh.
So Kishore Namit Kapoor wasn't so bad. It was 30,000 at the
Hmm.
time.
For how long
Yeah,
was the course?
same 3 4 months. Yeah,
Okay. Was it any
and
good? You feel
I'll be honest. I feel that yeah, I mean it helped me in terms of like opening me up and shedding some inhibitions and giving me a taste of just interacting with people from so many different walks
correct?
and
And just doing
int
scenes, I guess you can't go wrong, just
yeah,
by
yeah,
performing.
and it was a real like taster for Bombay, where on a daily basis you're interacting with like every like
Anybody
start off
anybody from your batch became famous? The guys
my
you
Manav Vij, who he's a fantastic from starting from that he played the cop in Urta Punjab. I also
ah
ended up doing a film with him called Brij Mohan Amar Rahe. Karan Patel, who's a big name on
huh
TV,
yeah,
apparently,
yeah,
yeah. Thinking of some more.
not bad. So already
Yeah,
there's three of
yeah,
you. That's not bad, and he's
yeah,
doing well. If in
yeah,
every batch you get 3 4 successes, I think that's good enough. You can't
yeah,
expect too
isn't it?
much more than that. It's
Absolutely,
not that many jobs.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
In case if you win the Emmy, then
Yeah,
Kishore will put his hand up. So you got the
yeah,
principal of the Delhi Public School, you got the
yeah,
Kishore Namit
yeah,
Kapoor, you got
yeah.
everybody else who's going to suddenly phone you up and say, mention me,
Correct.
don't
सबको
forget.
करूंगा मैं, of course. I'm very free with giving
Yeah,
people love and
yeah,
credit,
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
But
Uh,
and then I was like, okay, I think I want more. Then I went to Barry John in Delhi, and
so you from Bombay back to Delhi,
yeah, but because initially that was just a course I had come to Bombay for. I lived with my
and
chacha who lived.
they don't get you
Hmm.
work.
I
They
mean, it
don't
depends.
actually.
You depends on what you if right after the course you start handing out your portfolio. See, from there, so it's all
Luck.
who's yeah,
No,
basically.
matlab, there's no Kishore Namat Kapoor doesn't have a
No,
tentacles in the industry where
no,
he
no, no,
says
no, no.
isko dekho, usko dekho, and whatever. That
No,
doesn't happen.
no, not really, not really. And then Barry John in Delhi, that was a much more like theater-based, much more holistic kind of approach to acting, which felt really nice to me. And bus, I finished that, and then I moved bag and baggage to Bombay to
So
start
out of the
working.
guys you
Yeah,
mentioned, Barry John's been your favorite in terms of.
out of these two, they were two completely different things. Yeah, Kishore Namit Kapoor was like a masala Bollywood film.
Okay, you're
Barry
trying not to
John
be
was
critical. I understand. I accept it. Fair enough. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
Barry John was more like,
Classical training.
yeah, 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 basically,
और
yeah.
फिर स्ट्रासबर्ग कब हुआ?
That happened way later. I then, after Barry John, I moved back to Bombay and started working as an assistant director because I was like, अच्छा अब क्या करूँ अब मुझे
With whom?
bunch of films. I started on a film called क्यों हो गया ना with Sameer Karnik, which had Aishwarya Rai, Vivek Oberoi, Amitabh Bachchan, some lovely songs. Yeah. Oh na, remember? Yeah. No.
So,
Okay.
so
Anyway.
you, I can't remember. But you got to rub shoulders with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was assigned to the costume department. I lost Aishwarya Rai's sari once. All that stuff.
Ouch. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. And then I got on. I had no intention of doing more than one or two films, but I kept getting greedy. I next got to work on The Rising, Mangal Pandey with
Yeah,
Ketan
that
Mehta.
I've seen. Yeah. Yeah.
Then
When the
I was
mustache
called.
was longer than the sword. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the run of
Uh,
the film.
yeah. Yeah. No, he's one of
Yeah,
his few flops. You're right.
yeah, man.
Uh,
But then I got called on to Bunty or Bubbly as continuity supervisor in an
seen that
emergency.
as well. Huh.
Yeah, and that was amazing. And
These
then,
are fairly high profile films, what that you've
yeah,
done.
yeah, my last film was Rang De Basanti, where I was second AD, pretty much like
What are
running
you
set.
saying? You
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have
yeah,
easily
yeah.
fit into that. They could have just
I,
removed one of the boys and put you in.
I
Huh.
almost did. I almost at some point I was about to do the role that Cyrus Saukar eventually did in the film, the
Huh.
RJ.
Correct,
Yeah.
the RJ. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but it didn't happen eventually.
yeah.
But yeah, that was my last film. Then I was like, yaar, okay, ab time nikla ja raha hai. Let me like dump this shit and let me start doing what I came to do. But the life that an AD leads, unhealthy
The
and
worst.
the
Huh.
worst. So it had not been good to me also. So I had to take a year off, work on myself, grooming, ये वो. It was within that year that I made this Strasbourg trip as well. Yeah.
Okay, so you found out about Strasbourg and you went there. And
Yeah, man.
were the
Because I was
Cuban
like,
ladies still in the front? All
they
the
were.
Spanish-speaking ladies in
They
the front?
were.
Still there?
Absolutely.
They were lovely, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah.
They were my
Yeah.
best friends the first week. They would give me food and stuff because I was just this Indian
Lovely.
guy with no money. Yeah,
Wow,
which
man.
was
That's so
true.
cool.
Yeah.
You were there like mid-90s. Wow.
Robert Castle?
Awesome.
I don't know if the same teachers were there.
Yes.
Elizabeth?
He did not. Did not take any of my classes, but yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He separated me from this girl. We were doing a Modigliani play, Dennis McIntyre, and there was like a love scene, and she and I kept fighting. So he just said, "You can't work together. There's no question." I love that, He just canned it. He said,
That's awesome.
This partner for you, this partner for you. He didn't
That's
waste
great.
time. He said, never waste
Yeah.
time. People don't have
Correct.
chemistry, end it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She was like an alpha female.
यहाँ पर ऐसा होगा, someone will see that and be like, आ जाओ तुम दोनों काम करो, publicity अच्छी होगी.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Kemp, there was Irene something, I can't remember now. But good experience. And more importantly, now you're completely on your own. You're no ladla there. So it's sort of, you grow in every way. Right?
Yeah.
So I never wash clothes and all, bro. It's huge. Yeah. I made my first keema, tomato puree. My sister gave me directions on the phone. I followed it.
Wow.
It was more orange than the BJP. I can't tell you. And then my roommates, we were Greek Australian and an Indian guy and a Mexican guy. And they were like, boss, let's just go. There's cheap tacos outside.
Wow.
All kinds of deals. New York was fun for you?
Amazing.
Time in your life?
Amazing. So beautiful. I love it. I love that place. I don't know. Back then, at least, the last time that I went back to New York and I spent about 10 days and again on my own. And this time I found it a little like, I don't know, maybe it's just what I've become as a person.
See, when you were structured, you're really part of New York. Because you go to do your classes, you have to find your way back home, you have to figure out your food. When you go unstructured, it's just like a holiday. It doesn't feel the same.
Correct.
It grows on you, the thing of the structure. And I mean, the first day, I've never heard, New York accents properly. This big African-American lady at a McDonald's, I went there wanting to eat. She just said, to go. And screamed at me. And I was like, what? And I was like, I don't know what she's saying. So finally, one kindly old man back in the line says, she's saying, do you want to eat it or take it with you? That was to go. I had no idea what to go was. And it just sounded like a name. I was like, why are you abusing me? To go. Some great moments.
Yeah,
but I only bring it up because as you become an actor and more famous, all these things play a part. You never know. There's a lot of growth that happens when you're isolated.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've been thinking a lot about all these like moments. Little. I've been thinking of all kinds of people along this journey. More than anything, who've been like just played the smallest part in it. But today there is a like deep sense of gratitude I'm feeling towards a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine also sometimes you don't realize at the moment what it's doing for you, but later in perspective, looking back, you can sort of realize that.
Absolutely, yeah. How did I get here, or who, or what, or
No,
why am I?
You've got this lovely mix, with the Kishore, Namit Kapoor, the old Delhi public school systems.
Yeah,
then you got the British thing. Then you got the Barry John, somewhere in the middle. Then you got Strasbourg. So you've got all this, in your head, which is like a global sort of, acting school that's happened in your head.
Yeah,
there's no one way.
And it got pointed out to me recently, right now, in these last few days, someone was telling me that, didn't know your Hindi was also so good, and didn't know you.
Oh, and you're truly bilingual, which makes it, even double. Yeah.
Yeah. People, I think people who speak, who hear me speak English, expect my Hindi to be bad for some reason. I don't know. Yeah.
Because your English is too good.
Yeah, but my Hindi is that very proper Delhi Hindi. It's not the...
You can't survive Delhi without speaking Delhi Hindi. Yeah.
It's not the Kanda
But you can lose
Mala.
it. Like Saukar, when he came to Bombay, within 2 years, he's speaking like us. First the aap and tum. That just goes out of the window. Then the man hai.
Correct.
All this is taken for granted.
There's so much. When I came, I was like, what? Mala? What is Tisra Mala?
Mala,
what is Kanda? What is Kalingar? What?
Yeah.
I was like, mad.
And then the Delhi words like dafa, we don't use that.
Yeah.
But for y'all, it's all typical normal language,
Correct.
So it throws you pyas, kanda, aloo, batata. I mean, there's no end.
Yeah. No, I was just making the comparison between Mala and Manzil, it's like, I think Delhi is like just a little more inspired by the Urdu,
it's not like you're refined. It's just that you speak a better version of a language. And we speak for some reason, it's like a bastardized version of the language. Also the North Indians start speaking like us. So it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I really like it. I love it when they slip up.
Yeah,
but before we go to the next thing, let's go into a break.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. Hi, I am Sadaf.
And I'm Arshit. खाने का इतिहास, इकोनॉमिक्स, पॉलिसी, साइकोलॉजी सब है मेन्यू पे.
Only on the Nankali podcast every Wednesday सिर्फ IVM podcast ऐप या वेबसाइट पर या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो.
So you from Strasbourg, just tracing the journey again, you still don't have work per se. There's no work.
No.
And how old is Arjun Mathur now after he finishes with Strasbourg?
25.
25. So now there's a little pressure, right? You need to get work.
Exactly.
So
that's what I
happens?
think, because that's what happened in the AD time. I was like, I kind of stuck in there a little longer than I intended to. But that's cool. So then I came back from Strasbourg. That's immediately when I got my first portfolio clicked and started handing it out. Casting directors, producers, doing the rounds,
Felt more confident? Because now you conquered like an international, well, I mean, come on, you have to hold your own with all those students from all over the world, some good, some okay.
I felt very confident. Honestly, I felt very confident back then because I was like, I believed in my talent a lot. So that definitely kept me quite confident. This I only learned much later that it takes a lot more than just talent. But, at the time it was extreme naivety and,
So you come back and you do the rounds. There's no godfather, there's no friend, there's no networking, nothing.
There were friends. I must say, no, there were friends who, like through my 80 years, the friends I had made. And by that time, I had also met Zoya and Farhan, who were being who had been very helpful from the start. Like Zoya helped me pick out what pictures I should send out and stuff from my first portfolio and everything. So, I mean, that's it. That was the level of networking.
So what was the first job? How did it start?
The first job ever actually was an ad for Hero Honda with a friend called Vishal Punjabi, who now runs this thing called The Wedding Filmer. And but my first ever film was a short film with Meera Nair called Migration, in which I got to play Irfan Khan's younger lover. And that was the first
You've been playing alternate sexuality for a very long time, young man. It might be tough with a woman for you now on screen. Like, what? A female?
No.
नहीं, हो जाएगा.
That I've proven.
हो जाएगा, he says with the Punjabi confidence of tally. Fabulous. So again, you got an A grade start. You got Meera Nair. You got Irfan, who may or may not have been famous yet, but
no, absolutely. It was my beginning was really something, because it was like that was my first film, and then there was Farhan's short film in which I was acting with
the Fakir thing.
No, it was a short film called Positive. These were two short films for the same series. So there was Meera, Farhan, Santosh Sivan, and Vishal Bhardwaj, who made four short.
I remember this.
For this AIDS
and two of them had you.
Yes. So two of them had me, and then luck by chance.
You got to work with Baman. I interrupted you. Baman was in the other one.
Yes, he was, and it was amazing. I think what an experience that was. It was awesome. And then Luck by Chance was my first feature. I guess Zoya had written Migration, which was Meera's short film, and then I had been in her brother's short film.
You passed all the tests by then because you've done all the things.
Yeah.
And then your first feature is Zoya Akhtar, Luck by Chance.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. In which I played a small but good part. Yeah.
I haven't seen Luck by Chance. Please tell me I have. Is it the one on the boat?
No, that's her first film, the one set in the industry. Farhan plays this struggling actor.
Right. I've seen it. Yes.
And it's my second
wife's
film
correcting me from the back again.
Good.
She's stalking you. Be careful.
I'm shocked. And my second feature also, which I must mention, was a film called Bara Ana with Raja Menon, which again had me like acting in between Nasiruddin Shah and Vijay Raz, So,
So you only worked with A-grade people in terms of quality. Not the most popular, but all quality people. So your beginnings were fabulous. You got like the best beginning.
No, because I also did the popular thing, but like...
No, but you got Irfan, Baman, Zoya, Farhan. Who else? You mentioned a couple more. All of them are high quality sort of...
Meera.
Meera.
Absolutely. And also, then my next film was My Name is Khan with Karan and Shah Rukh and whatnot. But that's what, like these films, like My Name is Khan or even Luck by Chance for that matter, due to these commercial films, I found myself kind of being slotted in this like best friend embellishment supporting zone. You know what I mean? And that wasn't making me too happy. That's where my learning really started. Struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So for the lead, you're saying?
Yeah, you know,
Because once they put you in that slot, then they don't take you out of it also, right?
yeah, exactly.
For some
So I
reason.
was having a tough time dealing with that initially, but eventually I kind of found my way thinking, okay, cool. You know, as I realized that this is how it is, I was like, okay, I'll just focus a little more on smaller independent films that give me more to do, projects that I get to shoulder, you know.
Also, the
Yeah.
Mira Nair touch, so you got the international projects as well, I think.
I mean, I'm
Outsourced
constantly,
is
yeah,
international.
in terms of auditioning and stuff, yeah, I've always been very much there in, you know, most of the international projects I've auditioned for, and
It looks
yeah.
like that was an easier road for you than getting into Bollywood proper, in a
I think
sense.
I think like it in a sense, yeah, absolutely. I think in terms of my own preference and sensibility also, that is the direction that things started taking for sure, you
Without
know.
being critical. Well,
Yeah.
because Kishore and Amit Kapoor played a very important role in your life as well. We can't look down on anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we have so much to talk about, but I don't know how much time we have left.
Yeah.
Let's go straight into the Indian Summers. Now, that's a British
Sure.
TV series
Yeah, it is.
and also made a lot of waves. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, again, it was a kind of, it was what, 2014 or 15. Again, I was in a kind of slumpish phase and I was feeling a little bit like, okay, I don't know, need to like expand my horizons and stuff. I was like, better make use of this damn passport. So, you know, so I went to the UK, got myself an agent. Soon after, this job came to me, and it was awesome actually. It was my first experience being a part of a series that had like different directors coming and shooting several episodes, you know. So it was,
Oh.
in that sense, a good preparation for what Made in Heaven was going to eventually be.
So, in the British thing, do they also have the casting couch for the young boys and young girls?
I face
Oh,
no such thing.
damn it.
Yeah.
That was the only lower for me. I was like, oh
No,
man.
man, it was really different. I got to say that when I spent like 3 months, you know, in the UK, like just meeting people, and I knew like this one casting director who I started with, Jilly Pool, her name is, and
Jilly
and they're
Pool
so,
sounds Delhi, no? It
yeah,
was like a Delhi touch to it. Oh, Jilly!
वो जिल्ली पुल
Oh,
जिल्ली
Jilly
पुल
Pool!
के नीचे आतो आहो yeah.
Jilly Pool saaf karo!
My God,
Sorry to
please don't
interrupt.
watch this, Jimmy.
Yeah, I know. Oh, no. Come on.
but
The
but it
Brits
was
are lovely.
awesome,
They love all this. Yeah.
but it was lovely because there I really noticed a stark difference in the way, like, I mean, one casting director who's met you, and if she thinks you're good, and it's like a real sharing, you know, it's a real like community. She made me meet like 30 other casting directors. They made me meet 20 agents, and it was a real like,
Although
oh,
they do piggyback on you with the money thing, right? So once they push you, they're also going to earn on it. So it's not.
not really. I mean, eventually you're going to like sign with one agent, you know what I mean?
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm saying in terms of just when they see something they like or that they think is worth it, they really
They
believe
push.
in sharing it with the community. You know, because at the end of it, they believe in moving
Pushing
forward.
talent out. Yeah.
Yeah, and moving forward together as an industry.
So,
You
so
know,
what you're saying is that we are too politicized and
100%.
narrow-minded when it comes to all this, and with
Yes,
our
I do.
camps and all that nonsense.
Absolutely, that is what I'm saying, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could have just said, "I don't know." Yeah, but that's a bit sad that nothing has changed in our business. Where
Yeah,
that whole there's a different law that you have to follow to survive in
yeah,
Bollywood,
it's
not just
true.
perform.
It's true,
You
but
know,
it is changing. It is changing. But like I was saying, like,
the names you mentioned are very different. All the names you've been influenced or worked
yeah,
with,
yeah,
they're all straight from the top draw and don't behave like that.
definitely.
But there is
Yeah,
enough of the others. We can't take names. You
absolutely.
want to take names? That's fine.
No, it's
Oh
cool.
damn!
But I'm
After you
saying
win
that
the Emmy, you take the names.
yeah,
Yeah.
speech me.
Once you got Hollywood projects by the dozen, you can say what you want. Yeah. Once you're playing one of the Avengers, bro, it's
Oh
done.
my God, that's a dream. How did you
Who would you
know?
play? Who would you like to play?
I mean, someone new. They apparently have an Indian in the roster
Really?
yeah,
Which
yeah.
character? The new
Apparently,
character.
there is a guy. There is a guy.
That's not exactly a superhero. It's basically an
Yeah,
NRI. They've not understood it.
correct,
An Indian
correct.
who pays taxes in India and makes money there.
Yeah,
It's not quite.
they've just launched their first like there's a Pakistani teenage girl that they've launched. Her name is Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. Yeah, I happen to meet the creator even who's like it's actually based on her kind of in a way, you know. But yeah,
Wow, 250
yeah,
million people there, 1.2 billion here. How can they leave us
crazy.
out? They need the
Yeah,
numbers, yeah.
yeah, exactly,
All
exactly.
right, let's try and fit in a few more. So,
Hmm.
Brij Mohan, Amar Rahe, you've mentioned that before. So, the
Yeah.
movies were coming.
Movies are coming, definitely. I think there was Like Me. There are also many just like there are actors, there are also many filmmakers who are getting
Want to make
shoved
good
around and
projects and
shortchanged and want
yeah.
to make, trying to. So I have found enough people who were willing to believe in me, put their money on me. Not the big bucks maybe, but like still, at least those stories centered around me, and they got, they gave me enough to do to be able to at least keep showcasing myself and slowly just going on building and building on this reputation of dependable actor.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not? It all
yeah,
pays up one day as it has now.
yeah.
There's only one thing which is, I would say, controversial, but considering they call you anti-national, you were an
Oh,
accidental prime minister,
I was.
which
It is
which is
it is the
almost
one.
shot by the central government.
Yeah, I suppose so. And I have no real explanation for it except that it is
Work is
the
work.
one, no, I no. First, I want to call it the one regret I have.
Only
Absolutely.
poor Manmohan Singh, I felt, I've seen the film and
Yeah.
it was, I thought it was
No,
just
absolutely. It was in terrible
one-sided,
taste. Yeah, absolutely. It was in
making
terrible
him look
taste.
like a, like a
Yeah,
serf, like a
yeah,
valet. I
yeah,
mean, that was so
totally,
unnecessary.
totally. I made
Yeah.
a mistake. For whatever reasons I did at the time, but certainly made a mistake, and I learned way before it even released. I mean, I just learned by like spending 2 days on the set that, oh man, what am I doing here? You know
Was it
what I
very
mean?
politicized set?
No, not really, not
Just
really.
another
I
film.
mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, what else to say? I mean, I guess most of the people in the film pretty politicized with their views.
Ouch, we won't go there. No, I know
Yeah,
exactly where you're going.
yeah,
We'll leave
yeah,
that there. If you played
yeah,
cricket, I'd say let that ball go to the keeper.
yeah.
Okay. So okay, so now where are we right now? We've got this Emmy thing which is now hanging on your head. Let's see how that goes. But even if by chance it doesn't go your way,
Yeah.
it's you've broken through now because you're a nominated actor.
I can't say, man. I really, I mean, so many people are saying this to me, but I don't know, man. Cyrus, it's
Come
like,
on, Arjun, how many people you know who are nominated for Emmys from our side of the
it's
world?
true, it's true.
Okay.
But to be
I mean,
fair,
all these actors you mentioned, not one of them has. So
but my thinking about it is still, I mean, I don't even know that many people. I mean, forget it. I don't mean
anyway,
to blow
you
my
got to
own
take the good with
trumpet.
the bad. There's lots of bad also. This is a good,
Yeah,
partly luck, partly your talent.
basically.
That's the way it is. You got to take it,
Yeah,
man.
no, I'll just say that I don't hold some like massive expectations out of it in terms of like that now I'm going to become a Hollywood star or now this is
Every
going to change my
time
life
you
or.
come on screen, they will say
Hmm.
Emmy-nominated actor Arjun Mathur. They will use
I'm
that,
actually,
and
I'm
if you
actually,
win, it'll be
yeah,
Emmy winner, starring Emmy winner, even when you're not starring. You understand that?
I'm actually thinking of wearing permanent wreaths around my
Well,
ears.
you work for the Avengers. You're in character already.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, so where are we right now? What's going on right now? What's the new project? The
So,
OTT platform obviously is something that they love you
yeah,
there. So that's going to
yeah,
be one stop for
yeah.
you for sure.
So I was very lucky that within I didn't do that much since Made in Heaven. I was being even more picky than I've ever been with projects. But during the lockdown, I got to make and release two projects from my home. One was a short film for Netflix called Home Stories. One was a show called The Gone Game for Voot. And so we're shooting a second season of
From
The Gone
home.
Game. Yeah, you must watch that, please. It's a
No
very
one said you
easy
shot
watch.
inside the house or you've gone out.
No, no, no. We've shot, all the actors have shot in their homes. It is a proper,
Oh, okay.
legit thriller.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been, again, my Brij Mohan Amaray director, he directed it. And it's amazing what they've done. They've created a thriller
What have you
out.
done,
Yeah,
Arjun? You made a
it's
huge
crazy.
mistake because now
But
they can do the next film post lockdown in the same budget. मैं भी
yeah,
अर्जुन इसमें क्या बात है आप घर
तुम
से
घर
कर
पे
लो
कर लो. Yeah, yeah.
हाँ
It's
बस हो
actually
गया
like that. Huh? We
हाँ
did it. We did it.
10 दिन का shooting for everyone.
Yeah, all the actors, Sanjay Kapoor, Shweta Tripathi,
What are
Shriya
you saying?
Pilgaonkar, all of us have shot in our homes and then they've put it all together and it's turned out great.
So you
Really.
have to follow certain dialogue and they'll cut. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, we were being directed on
Okay, I
Zoom
got to see
on.
this.
Yeah, you
What's it
must.
called
And
again?
it's called The Gone Game on Voot.
And you can't make out that it's been shot separately, is it?
No, no. I mean,
Wow.
it's set in the lockdown. It's a thriller set in lockdown.
Okay.
So it was
Okay.
inspired
The
by
Gone
and
Game.
conceived in the
It's on
lockdown.
the
And
list. It's on the list.
yeah,
Yeah.
please watch it. And it's very four episodes, 25 minutes each. Very easy to watch. Yeah.
The critique of my attention span although within
Yeah.
one
I was
small
like,
interview saying I got to tell this guy it's short. So
yeah,
he
yeah.
watches it.
Correct.
All right. So that's there. So that's fabulous that you use this time in a positive way. I love these
Yeah.
stories, honestly. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people are just going on about, oh, my life sucks. Just got to get
Yeah.
on with it, man.
Yeah,
It's a good
exactly.
sign.
And
What?
since you said that, I think that is actually the way to go forward, even with all this like before you even ask me about nepotism, I want to say it, that that's the whole thing, like instead of whining, just get on with it, keep doing your shit.
So where are you on the Sushant Singh Rajput melodrama, if I may say that?
Where do I need to be? Ames has now said it's
Said
a
it's not a
suicide.
murder.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah.
been there, and that's exactly where I am. We all know why
Your
it's
book
being
will
made.
reveal all once you're in LA.
Yeah, we all
Safer
know.
to make, yeah.
Yeah, we all know why it's become what it's become.
Yeah, fair
And
enough,
whatever, man,
really.
whatever.
But they've been so successful at it, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
And for 4 months, with people dying
scary,
left, right, and center. I mean, Donald Trump goes
crazy.
to hospital, is pushed out of the news. This is more
Yeah,
important. Some
crazy,
path breaking,
unbelievable.
1 gram of ganja found somewhere, the
Shocking
world is
stuff.
dying.
Shocking
God,
stuff. Really,
really.
really.
All right.
Oops.
Okay, so
Haji.
before 2-3 questions before we go to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
AMAs.
yeah. Sure.
One favorite actor?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
You go for
Yeah,
the big ones. Has he
definitely.
retired or something? Like,
Yeah,
doesn't do it.
yeah, he has.
Complete nutcase, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. True. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why, I suppose. I don't know, man. I think it's that. Maybe
You like the
that's why.
Mavericks.
That's
Yeah.
why. Like, what about this? Like, having that ability and all of that and all that, and
And
you're
not
just
wanting
like,
it.
yeah. I think, wow, that's so commendable.
True genius. True
Yeah,
genius. Not
really.
attached.
Until he
Um,
feels like, I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. But for now, he's done, and I respect that. Yeah.
Daniel Comeback Lewis.
Yeah.
Indian Bollywood?
Favorite actor, Naseer Saab,
Yeah.
Irfan.
Okay, so you only want the real actors. You don't want to go for the stars. No, you
I
don't.
think I've given them enough. I idolized them a lot in my childhood and growing years, and
Then you outgrew them.
I've also grown. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
fair enough.
I feel that they should also be outgrowing themselves, but they're not really. So I have to do the outgrowing. Yeah,
But that's I still, growing up in the 80s, I just loved Amitabh Bachchan.
of course.
And
Yeah,
of course you can say that he's all kinds of things, but there's some roles where
yeah.
honestly he's just fantastic. Like
No,
Anand, I don't know if you've seen the
yeah.
film.
Of
There's
course.
some
Yeah,
roles where he's just, even in Sholay, he's
yeah.
measured. I think he was at his finest, those first 4
Yeah,
or 5 years.
absolutely. Like
Then there's
Chupke
a little bit of a
Chupke. Do
character.
you remember
There you
Chupke
go.
Chupke?
Of course.
Corolla and Karela.
Of course. I mean, you can't hold
Yeah.
whatever. But I just think that they should, one day when they study, they
No,
should
I
separate
love
his
them
career
all.
into his
Let me not.
acting performances and the
Yeah,
caricatures.
yeah, and I
They're two
love them
different
all,
things.
and they're fantastic performers, all of them. But I mean, at the end of it, like you want to see everyone grow, yeah. As you're growing, I mean, you know what I mean? And I think that's all.
Okay, fair enough. Favorite actress? Sexist, being homosexual, but
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. Is she
Why
the one who
not?
dies in Titanic?
No, she's not.
Who's the one who dies in Titanic, Maya?
That's Kate Winslet.
Same name, yeah.
Who's also
50%.
amazing. Yeah.
So I give you
Yeah.
another name to live with. Survive this one. Dodge the bullet. Which director would you like to work with if given a chance? Anywhere in the
Here?
world.
I mean, where?
Here,
Okay,
there, anywhere.
David Fincher?
Okay. Take it.
Why not?
Beyond my capacity to help you, I can't dial this number. I can't call this guy
Yeah,
up.
just
I can't.
putting it out there.
Yeah, all right.
You know,
He's a big fan of the podcast. He's going to hear this.
Awesome.
Just for a second, the romantic in you said, wow.
Yeah, I did almost. My eyes widened for just a microsecond.
All right, great. Listen, Arjun, all the best for the Emmys, and I'm sure you'll suddenly become so Indian if you win, and everybody
Yeah.
will be after you, and there'll be
Yeah.
interviews galore,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who inspired you and all that,
Yeah,
and
totally.
you'll be invited to all the politicians' weddings for the next 2 years.
Oh, boy.
However, we do have to wind up here.
Yeah.
Before we do, we have an AMA section. Will you participate?
Yeah, of
Some
course.
silly questions
What
are
section?
asked.
AMA.
Ask
That's
me
Ask Me
anything.
Anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another awesome, amazing, superb week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I also just want to ask everybody if they could go to the website, ivmpodcast.com/survey, and fill out a quick survey for us. It would be much appreciated. What a week we had this week. We had so much crossover, so many great guests. I don't even know where to start. Okay, yeah, I do know where to start. Let's start with Uncle Please Sit. Uncle Please Sit, Joel and Tushar had Hamsini Hariharan. Hamsini hosts a show called States of Anarchy with their network. She is a China expert forward and they discuss the India-China relationship. Really fascinating conversation. Cyrus had 2 conversations this week instead of our normal Thursday Cock and Bull. Great conversations, both of them. We'll be back with our regular Cock and Bull next week. But this week, you could definitely check out the conversation he had with Varun Grover. Really fascinating stuff. And Nikhil Taneja, who was the founder of Yuva and the creative director for the India Film Project Festival, which is going on this weekend. He was on the show as well. Cyrus was also on Advertising is Dead this weekend with Varun Dugirala. Cyrus and Varun discussed Cyrus's intent on randomness. Ranveer Brar guested on Gauri Devi Dayal show. This rounds on me. Another amazing conversation over there. Priyanka Khimani, one of the best IP lawyers in this country, was on Storytellers and Storysellers for a fascinating conversation. Definitely do check that out. And finally, I wanted to congratulate Zarina Poonawalla for her 100th episode. She had Ashish Vidyarthi as a guest on that. If you have not been listening to the Empowering series, please do. It's one of the great shows out there. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
Yeah.
So I'll press a button and Silvery will join us. Silvery.
All right. Hey, guys.
Hi.
All right. How are you doing? The first question comes in from Amanjeet Kumar. He says, hey, Cyrus and guest. Silvery, please don't read my last name. Okay. Sorry, we'll beep that.
No, we can't beep that. Because he should have written that first. It's not your mistake.
Yeah.
If you're reading it fresh and live, it's seriously. That's his fault. Bro, sorry.
Okay. He says, I'm situated in London and my girlfriend is in New York. This might be an unpopular opinion, but the coronavirus has actually made long-distance relationships much easier than they were before it. My GF and I have been fighting less on calls. There is lesser misunderstandings, lesser jealousies and insecurities, especially since there's just less other stuff to do. Is it a bad thing if I don't want to meet my girlfriend ever again and keep it a long-distance relationship? Our relationship has almost never been better than it is right now.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Any advice?
That would make sense if they're married. But you know what? This is too early to be so cynical. Mr. Mathur?
I know. What am I saying?
Good job.
I don't think it makes much sense. I think you should maybe consider getting out of this relationship if you think that when you're together,
No, but initially empathy levels were good. I think initially everybody, the spouses warmed to each other a little bit. How to survive this and, so got together. Then the cracks appear like in a Big Boss show, slowly. And what a terrible metaphor again to use it. So I think he's reached that point where he likes her as that companion to chat with. Friend sort of, but doesn't. He's watching Pornhub and, there's lots
basically. That's cool, man. I think take care, but as long as you come clean about it and everything's okay. Just let her know what the situation is, please.
Actually, that's a great point. Sometimes it's like therapy. You just need to talk about this and maybe you'll go back to her. Just get out of your system that, you're feeling this. It's human.
Yeah. Maybe, I just want to add, maybe she's feeling the same. And maybe if you guys talk about it, like, who knows what you might reach,
An open relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, they're 2 continents apart. They can't even keep an eye on each other. There's no point.
But their entire relationship will just be like quarantined to Zoom, basically. Because they get married, it'll be over Zoom. When they adopt a child, because they can't have...
Most marriages will survive if it's just a quarantine Zoom relationship. You don't share the bed. You don't share the bathroom. You don't share the space. You don't have problems about food, about clothes all over the place, about who's a DC fan. I mean, come on. What are you, nuts? I think it's a superb recipe for success. In future, we should marry and stay apart. This is the lesson we learn. What's Mr. Kumar's first name that we should not mention his surname?
Amanjeet.
Okay. I hope we've helped. And
why did he not want to?
Because in case she listens to the same podcast. Oh shit! Listen, we need to not put the.
No, but also
he's our boy.
Also, though,
he's our boy. We can't do this to our boy.
But it's kind of his fault because it's a name like Amanjeet and saying I'm from London. Like how many Amanjeets will be there in London?
He hasn't thought it through.
You'd be surprised. No. I think
but he has a leg to stand on with Amanjeet alone. With Kumar or whatever the surname is, he's screwed.
I don't think you can throw a bhatura in the air in Southall without it landing on an Amanjeet.
Yeah.
No, but with a girlfriend in New York also, so many things.
Fair.
No, but at least it's only one name, na? So like Arjun says, that's a common name. So he has a chance. But with
I don't know,
he might as well give his PAN card details. I mean, what the hell's going on? Okay, so it's only Amanjeet. We're not taking any other surname.
All right.
I hope we helped him.
Listen, we'll be responsible for the breakup, man. It's a great relationship. Now this shit.
Yeah, the next email will be, "Hi, I'm Amanjit Kumar. You can read my surname now."
No, the next email with Cyrus, you
Yeah.
bad shot. That'll be the opening line. Yeah.
All right. The next one comes in from Vijay Kamath. He says, okay, this is the subject line. It says,
Check if his surname is okay. You need the second line first.
It's fine. It's fine. TV news is this is the subject line. It says TV news is great with a tub of popcorn or as a drinking game. He says, "Hey, Cyrus and guest, TV news is just so nonsensical, crazy, and entertaining for a slightly sadistic mind like me and my friends right now that we've been having a blast sitting together and laughing our asses off while watching it. We actually saw the Arnab's Mujhe Drugs Do rant live, and we were in splits when it took place.
And he
Also, I say,
drugs. Oh.
yeah. Also, I say it took place because it makes it sound like more of a news incident. We have been making dreams out of various keywords like Kangana, like Riya Chakrabarti, Thakre, or out of actions like anyone shouting at more than twice their regular volume, etc. In the sense, you have to take a shot every time these words / phrases are occurred, like as urgent.
Wow, alcohol left. Huh.
That's crazy.
He says, as expected, you won't be surprised to know that we have been getting quite drunk quite often. Thank you, TV News. Cyrus, I have a great idea. Since theaters are going through an all-time difficult era, why don't we just start screening Indian TV news in theaters? I think it's a great way for theaters to start back up and for everyone involved to make some good money. What do you think?
Wow.
This guy's ahead of his time.
Yeah. I thought the drinking game was a good idea. He's like,
two good ideas.
Yeah.
Amanjit,
Awesome.
you talk to this guy. This guy's got the ideas, not us. But I think very clear. There are two types of Indians. There's the people like the three of us who I dare say know that it's such rubbish and there are rocks off laughing and drinking or whatever the hell these guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Us. But there's also others like my mother and other people who watch the news and listen and understand or take in whatever nonsense is being spewed.
Yeah.
You have to sit and try and filter that out. It's not easy. And that's
it's not easy at all because I'm telling you even right now, like when you Google something, right? And it's gone so deep into the algorithms that majority of the articles that you see about any particular topic are now Republic articles.
Yeah, that's very true.
So it's like Shakespeare. The first word.
Yeah. And
so Arjun, here's the thing. You just mentioned Ames has said it's not a murder, right? 4 days earlier, they said Ames are talking about marks on the neck. My own mother, once again, I hate to mention her, comes and tells me now it's a murder. Ames has proved it. There are marks on his neck. This, that, and the other. And then they went with that. The marks.
Exactly.
Could be, there are many reasons for the marks. Nobody wanted to answer those questions. And that was it.
Yeah.
Now they've come back with there's no question of murder. Let's see how the channel handles it. They'll find some other thing now.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. In fact, very soon it's all going to shift. Abhi to Bollywood will be forgotten.
The end of this is Pakistan or China are responsible for his death. I'm telling you, it's going to go all the way there.
My God.
Yeah, the story has to look. If you're going to watch 52 episodes, you're going to take me somewhere.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Karan Johar didn't have a knife. Okay, he had a spoon, and so she was able to handle him.
Yeah, totally.
Reason. Okay. Deepika Padukone was not strong enough. Okay, I think Siluri's got angry.
Yeah, no, but then PUBG is what killed him in the end.
TikTok.
Okay, squeeze one more.
Okay, one more. Okay, this is a nice, easy one. It says, comes in from Neeraj Gupta. He asks, "Hi, Cyrus and guest. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. I'm a huge film buff. If we could swap movie recommendations, I'd love to recommend a 2007 movie called The Man from Earth, about a man who reveals to his colleagues."
I've seen it. It's awesome.
I've seen it also. It's excellent.
Yeah,
very good.
It's so good.
It says, I'd love to recommend a 2007 movie called The Man from Earth, about a man who reveals to his colleagues that he is in fact thousands of years old. Though this movie is a while old, I only saw it this past month and I have been thinking about it endlessly since seeing it. Highly recommend.
It's too good. So it's about this guy who you catch him. It's a one night thing, and you see this guy who's about to who's kind of a professor in a university or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you see him packing up his house and kind of going somewhere, and then one of the other teachers from the university.
He's throwing like a going away party. The other faculty members are throwing
No. Not even. The guys catch him. The first person comes and catches him about to abscond.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're like, "Where the hell are you going?" And so what this guy does and what is revealed. So now by the end of it, you have the entire faculty, all the heads of, the science department and this department and that department.
Basically,
all the
philosophers and thinkers.
Because brains of the university are all together. And they're all like, "Where the hell are you going?" And so then he reveals to them that he is actually he's someone who's been alive for thousands and thousands of years, and he is actually who humans have come to believe and think, like everything they think God has done was actually done by this dude,
Who is his name? LK Advani? Sorry. Sorry, go back. Don't kill the moment. Yeah.
No, so yeah, and that's the
So
thing.
there is no God. This is the guy.
It's a bunch of intellectuals having these very arguments because they are trying to be like, how the hell can it be? Hell with you. How are you doing this? Explain this.
But he has those powers and all. So
he has explanations. It's a conversation. The entire movie.
He's a human avatar. He can't do anything, but he's done. Whatever thing.
Yeah. And it's all things that, like his interpretation of what happened is completely different and human from what humanity has made it out to be.
Divine theories.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. Wow.
2007. We should do this with ganja or without? Watching The Man from Earth.
We're talking about TV news. We're talking about this.
Putting it out there in the wave of
we'll just leave it there.
anti-governmental activity.
Yeah.
Okay, but the last part of his question was, could you guys please share a movie that recently blew your minds like this did mine? Doesn't have to be recent, he says.
I just watched Nurse Ratched, which is like a horror almost. It's an extension of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So hence I got into it. But then, the damn thing about horrors is once you get into it, you just can't stop watching. And there's some scenes in that, Ugh.
Yeah, I've never been much of a horror guy. Beyond, as a kid, I was all the Ram Se Veerana and all. But now I'm like,
you can't ever take that out of your head. Like Reservoir Dogs, that scene, the ear-cutting scene and all, I mean,
oh my God.
You didn't expect, when I saw the first time, I had no idea it would go that far. And then suddenly from being like, whatever, like an action film, suddenly it was like, oh my God, what am I watching? That guy's something, Tarantino.
Truly.
My hair stands on head when I watch some of his stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do have a recommendation in this vein that since he recommended, since that's what he spoke about, there's a film called K-Pax that has Kevin Spacey in it. And that film also, it's about like, it's set in a mental institution where there's this guy and it's just this guy's interactions with his psychoanalyst.
He's the mental patient, the Kevin Spacey guy.
Kevin Spacey is the patient. And the whole film is like him saying that I'm an alien. And this guy, this scientist, refuses to believe him. And so it's a similar, kind of...
But is there any credence to the theory that he's an alien, or he's just a mad guy who says he's an alien put in an asylum?
No. Eventually it does turn out to be that, he was right all along. But before we get there, the entire film takes us through this amazing dialogue about humans, humanity, all that similar stuff,
Yeah. Silvery, too much for you?
No, it's great. Sounds good.
It's great. I think it's around the same time also. Around the same time it must have released. K-Pax. Check it out. Yeah.
Maybe we play the God theory too much here over the years, Maybe we need to find something else. I mean, not everyone will kill us, but, sometimes I wonder, why did we just give up? Somebody said God did this and we just gave up. Nobody argued.
But that's what, these films are saying that only. These films are actually arguing that a little bit. They're putting across a more atheistic kind of...
Well, not even atheistic, I'm not saying that you have to not believe in things, but they might not the theories.
Yeah, absolutely.
My son asked me when he was 6, I haven't answered it. I Googled it, couldn't get it. Who's God's mother? I was like, how do you answer these questions?
Dude, I watched my 13-year-old niece and my dad. They had a full-on argument. Where my niece, she studies in the UK, and this proper young British girl, and my dad, who of a different mind, and the two of them have really gone at it like science versus God. It's And
but that's good. We should have more of this banter in society. Otherwise, we just accept everything. Ho gaya. Yahan pe janam ho gaya, bas ho gaya. What the hell? 20,000 years ago, how do we know?
Yeah, man.
I'm not talking about Babri Masjid. It was a very great verdict. Nobody saw Uma Bharati there or Mr. Singhal, or they were on vacation. So fair enough. We'll leave it there. Who are we to point questions at the system? System is great.
Was it ever there? Was there ever a masjid there?
No. Babar never turned. It was too hot. The young Zahiruddin Muhammad, also known as went towards Karachi, bought some sweets and went on. Really. Listen, Arjun, this has been a great pleasure, but it's lunchtime in the Brocha household, and ours is like a working woman's hostel because I make the women.
At least wear a bib for lunch or something.
I'll wear a bra. Yeah.
Awesome.
All this will change. Anyway, listen, we're all very proud of you, and let's hope you get the Emmy, and then, of course, we'll get you back. But even if you don't, I think it's just a great thing that's happened already. And this is the kind of thing, as an Indian, I really honestly feel happy about. I wish the rest of the people around the world celebrate this, achievements in art, literature, culture more than the stupid things that usko maro, usne WhatsApp bhijwaya. I mean, God.
Seriously.
Really.
Thank you, man. This was lovely.
Guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Have you ever wondered how successful people do their thing? How do they navigate the challenges they often face? Are you wondering about the future of restaurants, film, education, technology, and everything else in between? Hi, I'm Gauri Devidyal, best known for being one of the brains behind The Table, an award-winning restaurant in Bombay. One thing my life as a restaurateur has given me is the opportunity to meet with some truly inspiring people, most often just by chatting with strangers at the community table. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about learning the new dimensions of business and understanding how different people swim this sea. It's an opportunity for me to pick their brains and ask them all the questions on my mind, whether it's about learning from their past experiences or talking about future trends. Through their journeys, stories, and insights, I hope you too, like me, will come away inspired and energized. So come, join me every Wednesday with your favorite drink, because this round is on me.
बेटा, did you know 79% of all scientists in NASA are Indian only?
देखो, इंडिया में टैक्स सिर्फ मिडिल क्लास भरती है. Everyone is just enjoying free यार.
आजकल के youngsters are only interested in partying and enjoying. उनको देश की पड़ी ही नहीं है.
बेटा, तुम बस शादी कर लो. उसके बाद तो you can enjoy life like anything.
I will tell you what this country needs. This country needs 15 years of dictatorship. That is the only way to become a superpower. See the Chinese, how much they've progressed.
सुनो, तुमने ये WhatsApp forward देखा?
So what's common between all of these statements?
They're all absolutely rubbish.
Fake WhatsApp forwards that spread like wildfire.
And statements that defy any logic.
We are here to debunk them all.
Way of family WhatsApp groups, worst nightmare. Where what happens when you read a book.
Basically, we're just a bunch of guys who want to cut through the bullshit of everyone saying this, how it won't be true.
So that the next time someone confidently squeezes out some WhatsApp or Twitter BS, you can look them dead in the eye and go, Uncle, please sit.
So join me, Joel.
And me, Tushar.
Every Mondays for a fresh new episode of Uncle, Please Sit.